Good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls. My name is Ahmed or Big Ak. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to today's video. Today we're reacting to top 10 surprising biological miracles in the Quran. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into this. I'm kind of excited to see what's going on here. This is from the channel FTD Facts. I've seen them a bunch of times, so we're just going to proceed and see how this goes.
The science of biology in the Quran. Welcome back, guys, to FTD Facts. My name is Leroy Kenton, and I definitely want you guys to stick around to the end so you don't miss any of these. So we're going to jump right into the video, starting at number 10. Here we have living things formed from water. And the Quran says, "Do those who disbelieve not see that the heavens and the earth were sewn together, and then we unstitched them, and that we made from water every living thing? So will they not then believe?" And that's taken from Surah 21 verses 30. Also in Surah 24 verses 45 it says, Allah created every living creature from water. Geological studies have confirmed that water is not only the first and the main compound in all living things, but also it precedes the existence of all created beings. Next up at number 9 we have the
So that's awesome to know. A miracle, by the way, guys, is something that does not make sense logically. It's something that if I told somebody logically, this is how something works, but there was no way to actually prove it, and then it ended up being true, that would be a miracle. Something that we can't explain that actually happened. So the fact that the Quran 1500 years ago was able to tell us that every single thing was made out of water. If we go and we look at what a cell is made out of, a single cell is made out of, I believe, that molecule is made out of, I believe, 60 to 70% water. So every single living thing, everything in fact, is made out of water. Every single cell.
Duality of creation. The Quran specifically says, "And it is he who spread out the earth and set thereon mountains standing firm and flowing rivers, and the fruit of every kind he made in pairs, 2 and 2, male and female. He draws the night as a veil over the day. Behold, verily in these things are signs for those who reflect." This is taken from Surah 13 verses 3. Here we see things created in pairs. Now there's another verse in the Quran that says, "He who has made for you the earth like a carpet spread out, has enabled you to go about therein by roads and channels, and has sent down water from the sky. With it we have produced diverse pairs of plants." And that's taken from Surah 20 verses 53. The Quran has several verses like this. Another one as an example, "Glory be to him who created all the pairs from what the earth produces, and from themselves, and from things unknown to them." And that's taken from Surah 36 verses 36. Moving on now to number 8.
Everything is made in a pair of male and female on this planet. Even the sun and the moon. The moon is stated as a female and the sun is stated as a male. And everything in the Quran is specifically explained in pairs, male and female. And it's crazy that we're going through this whole transgender movement. Gender is a identification. It's not biology. I will identify what I want. I'll identify as a him, her, zai, them. It's just mind-boggling. There's literally only male and female. There's only one pair. We're
going to be looking at the female honeybee. Now check this out. Honeybees have 3 various forms. There's a queen bee, that's the reproductive female. Then there's the drone bee, which is the male. And then the worker bees are the non-reproductive females. Each of these have their role. The non-reproductive female bee is responsible for making the honey. And that's what the Quran speaks about in Surah 16 verses 68 to 69. It says as follows, "Your Lord revealed to the bees, build dwellings in the mountains and the trees, and also in the structures which men erect. Then eat from every kind of fruit and travel the paths of your Lord, which have been made easy for you to follow. From inside them comes a drink of varying colors, containing healing for mankind. There is certainly a sign in that for people who reflect." So in this verse, the verbs build, eat, and travel, they're written in the female form in the original Arabic language. But while we're on the topic of bees,
how would 1500 years ago It was literally God speaking and saying that he's commanded the bees to build their homes on your houses. He's commanded the bees to eat different various foods, and out of those foods, what their issued fluids are, the fluids that they release from their bodies, which is honey, that is a healing for men. It's going to heal us. So God literally tells the bees to build their houses on our houses, and for us to eat their fluids, which are then healing effects for us. And depending on the bee, if the bee is harvesting on apples, or the bee is harvesting on, jasmine flower, or the bees are harvesting on, flowers, or, vegetables in different areas of the planet, their honey is going to come out different and have different healing effects.
And honey, amazing. We have to mention at number 7 that honey brings healing. In chapter 16 of the Quran is Surah Al-Nahl, and that is translated as the bees in English. In this chapter, specifically in verse 69, this is what it has to say. Then eat from all of the fruits and follow the ways of your Lord laid down for you. There emerges from their bellies a drink varying in colors, in which there's healing for people. Indeed, this is a sign for those who reflect. So I pretty much just read that in the previous entry, but research now shows that antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties are found in honey. It also helps against infections and in the regrowth of tissue when our body is healing. Honey also contains antioxidants that help to prevent heart problems and cancer. Let's talk about gender at number 6. The Quran states that,
guys, eat your honey. I cannot stand honey. I cannot stand the taste of honey. I put it in my mouth and it makes me want to gag. Eat honey. It is one of the best things you could possibly put into your body, especially if you can get like organic raw honey, like directly from the hive. Like, that is going to be the best thing for you. No preservatives, not sitting in a plastic bottle.
One's masculinity or femininity is actually created out of a drop of sperm that has been ejected. And the Quran says the following: He has created both sexes, male and female, from a drop of semen which has been ejected. That's taken from Surah 53, verses 45 to 46. And now it's widely known that human sex is determined by the male's sperm, with the female cells playing really no role in the sex determination process. Another miracle mentioned in the Quran is the alaka that clings to the uterus. Now, the following is a passage from the Quran. It says, "Then we formed the drop into an alaka, and formed the alaka into a lump, and formed the lump into bones, and clothed the bones in flesh, and then brought him into being as another creature. Glory be to Allah, the best of creators." This is taken from Surah 23, verses 14. Now,
so just regardless, even if it's not making sense to you, how in the world would someone know this 1500 years ago? We didn't even know this 100 years ago. Like, yeah, we understand that if you sperm, that is what causes the baby. It's like planting a seed in the ground and watering it, right? But the whole process of how it works, and the direct directions and the direct spot that it's being held in, and what happens during the procedure, is actually insanity. How it's acting like it's an alaka, which I believe means leech in Arabic. It means that it's like it leeches on, that the sperm actually races to it and it leeches on, and then once it leeches on, it forms into a clot, and that clot forms into bones and flesh, and and bones and like muscles, and that is covered in flesh. That is literally like, it's a wild way for someone to explain something or to describe something 1500 years ago. We don't have microscopes, x-ray machines. You can't open people's bodies up. Like, it's not the same. Like, there's no way that you're going to be able to know what a sperm drop is going to do, right?
One thing to note is that the Arabic word alaka is used to describe leeches that cling to a body and feed off of the blood inside of the body. And it can be translated to mean a thing that clings to something. So comparing a leech to an embryo at the alaka stage, we can see that there's similarities between the two of them, not just in appearance, but also in function as well. And the word alaka can also be translated as blood clot. And we can see that the appearance of the embryo and its sacs during the alaka stage actually looks like a blood clot. Number 4 brings us humans formed in stages. Human reproduction, as science tells us, it actually takes place in various different stages. And the Quran also mentions this. In Surah 71, God created you in stages. Also, the Quran says He creates you in the wombs of your mothers in stages, one development after another, in 3 layers of darkness. That's taken from Surah 39 verses 6. Another pretty interesting miracle found in the Quran is about the prefrontal cortex. So check this out. The front part of the brain is called the prefrontal cortex, and it's responsible for coming up with lies. According to PubMed.gov, people who just lie, known as pathological liars, have more prefrontal white matter. And the Quran said that the disbelievers will be dragged from their lying foreheads. In the Quran, Surah 96 verses 15 to 16, we can find a passage that says this, "But no, if he does not desist, he will certainly drag him by the forelock, a lying sinful forelock." Now this is also translated as forehead. The original Arabic word nasia in this case refers to the frontal lobe of the brain where reasoning is processed, and from there people can come up with lies. Number 2 is also very fast.
Just by the way, for you guys who are saying like it's metaphoric, it's not a direct statement about dragging someone by their forehead. Can you grab someone by their forehead and pull them by their forehead? No, you cannot. So we know that that is not physically possible. Like I can't grab someone's forehead and then just like pull them by it. So whatever God is saying here is He's saying that whatever is stored in that portion of your forehead, that is what He's dragging you by, essentially.
Fascinating. It's talking about bones that are formed before muscles. The first formation of actual bone happens at the jawbone at around 41 days. And then about 3 days later, the muscles are formed. And now we did read the following passage at number 5 in this episode, but there is something else to notice in the passage. Just to recap, it goes as follows. Then we formed the drop into an alaka and formed the alaka into a lump and formed the lump into bones and clothed the bones in flesh and then brought him into being as another creature. Glory be to Allah, the best of creators. So what we can also see in this passage is the sequential formation of bones and flesh. And to end this episode off, we are going to be talking about fasting. Fasting and its medical benefits. The Quran does mention this in Surah 2 verses 184. It says, "O you who believe, fasting is prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you, that you may become righteous, for a specified number of days. But whoever among you is sick or on a journey, then a number of other days. For those who are able, a ransom of feeding a needy person. But whoever volunteers goodness, it is better for him. But to fast is best for you, if you only knew." Nowadays, we know that intermittent fasting has been linked to numerous health benefits. And some of those benefits include reducing the risk of diabetes, reducing inflammation in the body, as well as lowering your blood pressure and also balancing your weight. It, however, is recommended that you consult with a medical professional when it comes to fasting, but studies do show that yes, fasting does have many benefits. And just like that, we come to the end of another episode. This was a look at 10 surprising biological miracles in the Quran. Really hope you guys enjoyed this one. And just
awesome. Thank you so much, FTD Facts. Just to add to the end, fasting, as hard as it sounds to some people, like in the middle of Ramadan, when Ramadan starts, and I tell people that I'm fasting, and I have to explain to them from sunrise to sunset, I cannot eat, I cannot drink, I cannot have sexual acts or touch women of any sort, even someone who has halal on me. I cannot smoke. I cannot do any of these things while I'm fasting. I am completely fasting from all of these things from sunrise until sunset. It blows their mind. They literally are like, how is that even possible? That you can't do that. That's impossible. Blah, 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 blah. I believe it was Kyrie Irving. He scored, I think it was almost 40 points in the basketball game, and while he was fasting last Ramadan, and they were like, how did you physically do this? Doesn't even make sense. Like, don't you need water? Don't you need food? Isn't that like an important thing? Don't they teach you that you need nutrition and able to perform? And he's like, no, you need, the will of God to perform. He's like, God is protecting me. God has told me to do these things. So even a professional basketball player is performing at the highest level that he could possibly perform at while he's fasting, which means your body isn't going through some type of withdrawal or dying from it. After the first couple of days, your body adapts to it. And your body doesn't just adapt to it. When you're doing it for the right intention, when you're doing it for God, God protects you. God makes it easy for you. Ramadan is actually so easy. After the first day, 2 days, it becomes so easy. It becomes one of the most uplifting things that you could possibly feel. I don't know how to explain it. Withdrawing from all of these things teaches you self-control. It makes you healthy. It clears your mind. It allows you to come closer to God and focus on specific tasks and things. When last Ramadan came, I ended up building a complete PC. Like within 3 days, I was losing my mind. I didn't know what to do, where to go. Like I couldn't eat, I couldn't drink, I couldn't smoke, I couldn't do anything. So the only thing that I could possibly do was more or less something objective. So it made me build a PC, it made me start doing YouTube videos again. It caused me to start doing things that I would unlikely have done if I was not fasting and withdrawing from specific things. So fasting is one of the most amazing things. I can tell you guys all of this. Even if you're not going to fast in a full way where you're not eating or drinking from sunrise to sunset, removing certain things from your diet, certain foods, certain things like this, allowing your body to have some type of withdrawal from what you're used to teaches your body discipline, teaches your mind discipline, and is a reinforcement to self-control, not over just your body, but your mind as well. So that's going to be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video. This was an awesome one. This is just the biological miracles in the Quran, only biology, just talking about the human body. And it's kind of amazing that we have all of these different miracles, like honey, how it heals the body, and how the embryo forms, and how fasting affects our body. These are all things that were found in a book 1,500 years ago from a prophet who was illiterate, who could not read or write. So in the middle of a desert too. So these are things that, like, all things are created from water. These are things that he would not know in any way, shape, or form. There wasn't science back then to teach him this or to show him this. So it is literally a miracle from God that these things are in a book like this and put together like this, and it's talking directly to you. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. Appreciate you for coming in today. If you like the video, leave a like, subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. God bless you all. Peace.